Hi everyone, this poster presents an investigation into the issue of native speakerism in Japanese universities, which is structured into 4 parts, and we will introduce the 4 parts one by one. So now I'll give the floor to the first presenter, Lijun.
Hello. I will introduce the overall context of Japanese university. So first of all, the discourse of English as international language has become a strong presence in informal policies such as EXT policy and discussion relates to English teaching in Japan. And then there's the big challenges like the native speakerism. First of all, English is considered as a foreign language, and the ideal final products is AE or BE, American English, or British English. And the English is really used outside the university with the non-native speakers. The English education in Japan is still the place emphasize on the native speaker approximation. The native English speaker are often considered as the ideal English language teacher in Japan. So the native English speaker teachers requires the much lower credential than non-native teachers. So the non-native speaker teacher may be paid less, much less. It also presents the challenges for native English speaker teachers to establish their professional positions. All of these present the challenges for a teacher, for native teachers, non-native teachers. Okay, the first of all, if the Japanese university to promote the world Englishes as the promote the world Englishes in classroom, they lack details EIL, the guidelines and the United teaching goals. The second, they lack the suitable ELF-based teaching materials, including the authentic samples of the language in global context. The third, they lack the colonized model makes the indigenous language more dominant in Japanese school education. Okay. So the next one is the studies review presented by Jiayi. Great.
Yeah, thank you, Iris. And I will introduce the research part. In 2019, TESOL did research exploring how Japanese universities should approach EIL. He interviewed 4 teaching staff from different universities and 89 students from Sophia University. He found that Japanese students rarely communicate with international students, and they are more willing to speak English with native speak teachers. This is also the reason why the increasing number of the international students has no influence on Japanese students' EIL competence. However, this study is small-scale research with limited student participants, and the convenience sampling of teaching staff is not representative enough. And study written by Innal and Anderson 2022 mainly explores how native speakerism shapes native English-speaking academics' work and lives. The findings show that participants actively contested against being positioned solely as native English speakers. They positioned themselves as qualified, experienced, and skilled in English language teaching, competent in teaching subjects not only English, and capable in Japanese-speaking working environments. Although they have strong sense of professional identity, some participants felt that English language teachers tended to be undervalued For example, Japanese universities do not have adequate systems for acknowledging English language teacher skills and do not value their expertise beyond English language teaching. The limitations of this study include its small size and scope. Besides, participants may be cautious about sharing their experience with a Japanese person. Notably, this research explored participants' perceptions rather than their actual employment conditions or competence as teachers. In 2014, Galloway and Rose implemented listening journals in a Japanese private university. They asked students to find and listen to GE resources and write reflections on possible reasons for their reactions and attitude. Moreover, they interviewed students at the end of the course as secondary resources. It has been proved that listening journals can effectively increase students' exposure to the diversity of English. However, since students only listen to different variations without digging into how they formed and why they formed like these, listening journals would strengthen their negative stereotype to some extent. Students tended to focus more on English varieties and compare them to the native English model rather than ELF interactions. Nevertheless, teachers could know students' attitudes and try to challenge them in class. That's all. So, Keer will share the next part. Thank you.
Okay. Well, Nadia, could you please just move them into the chart? Yeah, thank you.